crisp, cool Sunday morning that I'm hoping will warm up as the morning progresses. It's second day of riding with clubs today. Yesterday I rode with Pactri, did 100k up over Cheddar. I think it was around about 750 metres of climbing, so not a big day, but certainly a biggish climb. And now today I'm out with Clevedon District Road Club, doing about the same sort of distance, I hope. Another 100k day this week, which should take me to around about 535, 540 kilometres, something like that. Morning. And so by the time I get to Shipham and Cheddar, legs should be pretty well ragged this week, and that was always the intention, really, was to try and get a big block in this week so that we Oi Rob, keep it up mate. Morning. Oh, it's busy out here today. Love seeing people out in the sunshine exercising. It's one of the best things about COVID, I think, is how many people have realised the beauty of being out and doing exercise. So yes, by the end of this ride today, we'll be kind of much nearer the sort of mileage, kilometerage that I should be at, and my legs feel a bit ragged today because I had a little bit of an incident yesterday on the way home. So my usual trick now is to leave the group rides at the coffee stop and make my own way home, which means obviously I have no shelter, although to be fair, yesterday I was sat on the front quite a lot. But yes, now do I go left or right? I have half an hour to get to the meeting point. I'll go left. So yeah, so after I dropped them at Priddy, which is sort of at the top of Cheddar, I made my way home into a block headwind. It's been really windy these last few, well, weeks actually, and a strange wind direction that we're not used to here. Coming from like the Bristol area rather than coming from the coast, it's coming this way at the moment. Which means unusually we're getting quite a lot of kind of head and crosswinds. I'd say probably about 70% of yesterday's ride was into a block headwind or into a pretty severe crosswind, which, as you'll know, isn't very nice. Doesn't make riding very easy. I don't know if you can even hear that wind actually today, but it's picked up. I've no idea whether it's coming across on the mic. But yes, anyway, so after my descent down Burrington yesterday, I hit a bit of a bump in the road, and not metaphorically, literally. And a couple of days ago I'd had to disconnect my Di2 battery to get the Bluetooth sensor working again because it had a fault. And when I hit the bump, the Di2 battery connector, morning, disconnected from the battery, leaving me in 52.17 for the entire remainder of the hour of the riding that I had to do, another 27k or something, stuck in a single gear, which for the most part was okay, but did mean that on some of the little steeper little sections I was struggling a bit, and I can definitely feel that in my legs today. But otherwise training's been super solid this week, not just mileage, also done a really good quality SweetSpot session on the turbo and the under and over sessions at the beginning of the week, so some good quality in there as well as just basic endurance. So let's see how today's ride progresses, and I think I'm just going to sit in the wheels today and just let them drag me around and then tap it out on the way home on my own when they stop for coffee, wherever that is today. give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, you know the drill. Where are the books? If there's one thing that daily vlogging's taught me, and also when you're trying to get in as many hours on the bike or do whatever training you can and make videos, is that you have to basically try and grab as much stuff as you can whilst you're out and about, rather than kind of trying to set up a nice shot in the shed and all that kind of stuff. And daily vlogging kind of taught me that you have to grab it when you can. So you join me now on the way back from Asda, having bought Indy, my youngest son, the new David Walliams book, which he's keen to read, which is great. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a summary of this week really, and let you know what the plan is for next week. So this week was always a plan to be a bigger week than next week. Normally I do a 3-week block where I build. Well, this is going to have to be a peak in the middle of those 3 weeks, because next weekend is Becky's birthday, and I think going out on the bike for 8 or 9 hours it's probably not something that I want to do. I want to spend it with my wife. So I'm going to spend a bit more time next week on the trainer, on the turbo, doing some more quality rather than quantity, more SweetSpot, more unders and overs, and probably some sort of tempo session as well, I should imagine, whilst also going out and maybe doing some hill reps locally rather than going out and doing hundreds of kilometres. This week has been kind of in excess of 530 plus kilometres. I can't think exactly how many it was, but it was certainly more than 530k in the end, which is more than the previous biggest week that I've done this year so far. Also more climbing too, but slightly less time, so it means I'm getting a little bit quicker. I have to say most of my rides were kind of averaging around about 25k an hour, which is, you know, for me, great. I'm more than happy to kind of trot around doing that. The weirdest thing about today's ride, today being Sunday, and the last sort of big block of 2 weeks without any rest days, is that over this week's 530 kilometres, it's today that I felt at my strongest, going up the climbs, riding on the front in the wind with the group, and dropping people inadvertently, not on purpose, but dropping strong riders. And it's weird, isn't it? You'd think that over a block of, you know, 2 weeks really, 2 solid weeks of whatever it works out to be, around about 800 kilometres in total, something like that. My maths is awful. You'd think that, you know, the worst ride, you'd be your weakest at the end, and yet it would appear that I've been at my strongest at the end of this block. So I can kind of understand it when people say about having good or bad legs now. I know I can kind of relate to that. You know, you just don't really know until you get on the bike. And I certainly felt a bit weak this morning when we started off. I was a bit concerned that I wouldn't actually be any good today. I had warned the group that I was riding with, that when we went up Cheddar today, second time in a row over the last 2 days that we got up Cheddar, that they might end up wanting just to drop me and I'll make my own way home. And in the end I ended up being, look at all this traffic, man. This is all for the seafront in Clevedon. They might, yeah, so I ended up being the first rider to the top, which was really unexpected, and also, like I say, riding on the front. So that's all going well. I did go to the pool this week, only did about 1,000 metres. I was just not up for it at all. I actually sort of treated it more as a strength and conditioning session, really, to kind of loosen up the old torso and get the legs moving in a different direction and get the shoulders going. That's really what I was doing in the pool. Got out after 1,000 metres, and I think it's the shortest swim I've ever done, but I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really much of a swim. No running, I just can't face it. I just can't face running at the moment, mainly because my focus is so much on the bike. And I have had a good week. It has been a belter. The weather has been absolutely amazing. So we'll see what next week holds, and see how we get on with that when I talk to you all next Monday. The last 2 weeks I promised new videos coming out for the Polar Bears one and the video about my new bike, and they're pretty much like 95% done, both of them. And like I said earlier, the biggest problem is the fact that I just can't find the time to do that around training 20 odd hours a week, and working and being a husband and a father and all those kind of things. Something's got to give, and yeah, just sort of the output's kind of not as great as it could be. It's pretty much there. So I'm really hoping I'll find the time
with the slightly reduced hours this week to get those videos finished and out, because I'd like them to be out. In terms of eating and drinking stuff, I think it's like the 3rd week or something that I've avoided drinking any alcohol, and those of you that watch the videos often will know that that's quite a challenge for me. There's been a couple of times when I've nearly wavered and managed to kind of just go, no, I'm not drinking. The first day I'm going to drink is when I get to stage 21 in July, and I can have a glass of champagne with everybody on that stage. So that's still the plan. So I'm quite pleased about that. The weight is slowly coming off. I haven't weighed myself. I'll probably weigh myself next week when I do a ramp test. And I'll see where I'm at with the weight. But I'm not really that bothered about the weight because you know, it fluctuates a bit, and I feel slimmer. I know putting my jerseys on, I know how I feel, and I just feel better on the bike. Yeah, so that seems to be going okay without paying too much attention to it. So that is about it for this week. I need to get back inside because somebody needs to read this book, and I need to see the end of Liège-Bastogne-Liège before it finishes in probably about 20 minutes. I've watched it up until this point. I don't want to miss the end now. So I will see you guys on the next video. Please, if you're not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, or you want to see what's going on with me in the summer and what training is all about for me, hit the subscribe button, put the notifications bell as well, and make sure you give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I'll see you guys on the video next week. I might make something a little bit more involved because I'll have the time to do that. But at this point now, once again, as ever, thank you so much for watching. Those of you that have donated money, thank you very much for the donations. If you're interested in knowing what I'm talking about, have a look at the Just Giving thing below. I'm like 150 quid or something off of reaching my target, which is really exciting. So I'll smash that goal, absolutely go over the top of that target. Have a good week, and I will see you guys in whatever next week is. Another week of riding a bike, probably.